NFL Wild Card Weekend. Already the playoffs this season flew by, guys. Can't believe how quick it went. Some exciting matchups we have this weekend. I will take a look at all the matchups. I'll briefly go over all of them, throw out a few free plays, and just break them down. Let's take a look at some headlines from last week before I get into the playoffs. Last week was interesting. Personally, we ended the regular season strong. We went 9-4 personal and for subscribers. Ended the regular season on a 67% run at a volume of 80 bets, guys. So it's not a small volume. We ended the season really well. So I'm definitely happy about that. Let's take a little recap. Week 17, couple stories that caught my eye. Definitely the Browns. Right, Browns are in the playoffs. They're back in the playoffs. I think it was an 18-year, first time in the playoffs since 18 years. And they beat the Steelers to get in. Steelers were resting guys. Steelers almost made that comeback at the end. But definitely an exciting game there. And guess what? They'll be facing the Steelers again. So we'll see how that goes. Some issues there I'll talk about a little later on in Cleveland. Rams with the big win. They didn't have Kupp. They didn't have Goff. Goff was hurt, had that thumb surgery. Murray got hurt in the Cardinals game. That obviously didn't help, and they weren't able to come back because of that. But Rams are in the playoffs. Wolford did enough. He was solid. He had 200 plus passing yards and 50 rushing yards in his debut. Pretty solid. I didn't know he can move like that. I guess they didn't know as well, so he's able to pick up some yards. But yeah, definitely solid. We'll see. It looks like he's starting again. I'll go over that shortly in the breakdown. And Washington wins their division, guys, with 7 wins. They win their division with 7 wins. We were all over Washington in that game and the under, so we ended the week strong there, hitting on both of those. It was crazy how they didn't keep Hurtson to get him more reps, right? The backup they threw in, he's a bum. He's never going to play in this league, so I don't understand why you would want to just throw him to get some reps in the fourth. I don't get it. I'm happy. Never know. Hurts maybe could have came back, but we did have Hurts on over and rushing props. So on a small play, so obviously that affected it. Last thing, I got to go over two last things from week 17. Got to give a shout out first to Derrick Henry. Plus over 2,000 yards. Very impressive season for the Titans. Eighth player in NFL history. Ravens are going to have their handful this weekend with him. That should be an exciting matchup. And last but not least, I got to give a shout out to Russell Wilson, guys. I don't know if you guys seen this, but David Moore, he needed one more catch to get 100,000 yards. One more catch to get 100,000 yards. And Russell Wilson knew this. All he had to do was knee, 18 seconds left. San Francisco's not really playing D. Carroll was giving him a look like, what the hell happened? Not too many people knew this, but Wilson, I'm sure some other teammates. He gave him a nice little shovel pass to get that 100,000. Apparently, Russell Wilson told Carroll after. Carroll laughed about it, so everything was good there. But hey, good looking out from Russell Wilson. Before we get into the breakdowns, like I mentioned, we ended the year on a nice run, 67% run over 80 bets, 53-26 overall. And overall, another profitable NFL year, which makes it 6 straight for myself. Futures was also profitable. We went 6-1 on season win totals, 6-1 season win totals, and not as much luck in the divisional winners. Divisional winners, we went 3-3 with a few bad beats. Right, we had Dallas. Dak got hurt, so Dak getting hurt, obviously. Dallas would have won the division with Dak there, 100%. So that obviously, bad luck there. And then San Fran, they never had a chance with all the injuries that they got and all the COVID issues. So San Fran never had a chance to win that division. I think they'll be back strong next year. Also still on a perfect prop streak. I don't know if you guys are following this. I posted on Instagram stories and Twitter fleets 15-0 free prop run. I don't know, guys. I don't know how I'm doing it. These are small plays, too. They're not my favorite props of the week. And we're on a 15-0 run. We had Darren Waller over 61 yards. He doubled it. Easy cash there. Hopefully you guys have been following that and cashing along with me. Check out my website, like I always mention, guys. Systemsportscapping.com is the website. You can still get the playoff package here, or just get the monthly subscription. You get all my plays. I can cap all sports, so that's where the best value is at. Let's get right into it. I'm going to first go over the wild card matchups. Let's look at the wild card matchups first. So we got Colts at Bills, the Rams at the Seahawks, and Bucks at Washington. That's Saturday game. Sunday, Ravens at Titans, Bears at Saints, and Browns at Steelers. Let's start with the first game on the dock. Colts at Bills, -6.5. Total 51. This matchup could be one. It could be my favorite matchup out of them all. It could be a fun one, guys. Both teams can put up points. Colts averaging 28.2, which was ranked 9th, and the Bills are averaging 31.3, which is ranked 2nd. Josh Allen has been awesome this season, and is a big reason why the Buffalo Bills are obviously where they're at. He's going to be in the running for MVP. 4,544 passing yards. 337 touchdowns and a rating of 107. However, without the man Diggs, his go-to guy, he wouldn't have those numbers. What a year from Diggs. 127 receptions, over 1,500 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Very impressive. If you have him on fantasy, you guys were loving him. Diggs should have a big game here to add to those numbers. I don't see a shutdown guy in the Colts. If you were to pick out a weakness on the Colts defense, it would be against the pass, where they're ranked 20th. So Allen's going to be able to attack this defense. They're allowing 241 passing yards per game. Colts' strength is against the run. So Bills don't run often, so I expect this game to be mainly Allen versus the secondary of the Colts. Since we are on rushing, hey, Taylor has been outstanding in the second half after a slow start. Best rookie running back in the class, and you can rush on this Bills D, ranked 17th, allowing 120 rushing yards per game. Public is all over Bills right now at 67% of bets, and the over is being bet at 69% by the public. Injuries for this one, no big concerns on the Colts side. Couple questionable, but should play. Beasley's hurt. He had that leg injury. He should play. Should be okay this weekend. Obviously, you want to check it closer to game time. It is Thursday that I'm filming this. Weather will be cold in Buffalo, below 30, which benefits the Bills, but no rain or snow this weekend as of right now. I do have a subscriber play in this one, which I will be giving out on late Thursday night or Friday. Rams at Seahawks, -4, total 42.5. Should be a battle in Seattle where we could see a low-scoring game, guys. Sean McVay mentioned earlier this week that he won't reveal who's starting until game time. It seems like a tall task for Goff, right, to start in week 12. To start 12 days after thumb surgery. Wolford led the Rams last week to a playoff berth and did enough to get the win. Let's face it, Rams defense was the bright spot, but Wolford was solid enough, right? Like I mentioned earlier, plus over 200 yards passing and 50 rushing yards, which was a record for an NFL debut, the rushing yards and the passing. I don't think it's a huge downgrade at quarterback. However, a playoff game in Seattle, you aren't sure how he will come out in his first playoff game and second start, right? That's the only thing. Cooper Kupp back, Brockers back, which is big for the Rams. They were on the COVID list previous to this game. Big thing here will be how will Seattle handle the Rams D, right? It's not like these two teams aren't familiar with each other. They have played twice this year, splitting both games that were low scoring. Both teams will look to run in this one. Carson seems a bit banged up still. Hyde will be back in this one, so that helps. They split. They may split time in this. Ranked 12th in rushing at 123 yards per game versus the Rams ranked third in rushing yards allowed, only allowing 91 per game, guys. 91 per game. So, you're not going to be able to do too much on this Rams D, in my opinion. Oh, yeah, and the Rams, they're ranked first against the pass. So don't expect Wilson to be throwing much on this secondary. I'm waiting for that Wilson prop to come out on total yards. That will be interesting to see how high it goes. Metcalf could be on Ramsey Island again. Lockett will have to be busy in this one, in my opinion, like he was last week. He won that game for them. Huge catches by Lockett. 2 huge touchdowns there. I do think the Rams have enough on D to win this game. However, it is tough to call due to the uncertainty at quarterback. If it is Walford, how will he look in the first playoff game on the road? I would lean the points with the Rams just because you can get at 4.5. It's not going to be a play for me. I haven't been involved on this as of yet, but I do have a total play that I will be sending out to subscribers on this one. Bucks minus 8.5 at Washington, total 45. You don't see too many minus 8.5 road dogs in a wild card playoff game, but hey, it's here. Total 45. When you first look at this line, you think 8.5 favor on the road versus a divisional champ. I don't know, but this isn't any normal divisional winner, guys. This is the 7-win Washington team. They just don't have enough on offense, and that's pretty much where it comes down. Last game of the year against Eagles, which they barely won. They weren't able to put up points against a banged up Phillies defense. So that is it's tough. It's tough to see Washington scoring many points here. Washington was ranked second in total yards allowed, second against the pass, and fourth in points allowed. That's where they shine on defense, right? But Tampa's offense has been cooking as of late, and overall on the season was strong. Ranked 7th in total yards, 2nd in passing yards, and 3rd in points scored at 30.8. However, the rushing wasn't great, ranked 28th. We're going to see a good passing offense versus a good secondary. Who's going to get? Who's going to come on top? And when you have Tom Brady on the other side, sign me up with Tampa Bay. Should be a good battle. Line seems a bit high. I don't love the 8.5. I'm not jumping all over the 8.5 just due to that Washington defense. Alex Smith, limited this week. He should play, but he did get banged up in that game. He did finish it, but he did get banged up. Remember that, guys. So it's tough to see Washington win this game. Very tough to see Washington win this game. Tampa on a teaser, I think, is a great play. No weather concerns here. Temperatures in the mid-30s and foggy as of right now. That's my insight on this total. No play really on the total. I would lean the over 45. We got Sunday matchups. Ravens -3 at Titans, total 55. Rematch from last year's divisional round playoffs where Henry and the Titans upset the Ravens. You guys remember that? I definitely remember that. It seems like the Titans and Chiefs have this team's number, right? These two teams keep beating the Ravens. Now, the reason why the Ravens are favored in this one would be due to recent play. And they will be able to score on this Titans team. Titans defense has been an issue all year. However, they have been able to score enough points to win these games. The 2,000-yard guy was the big reason for that and led the Titans to a playoff berth and the second overall in rushing offense. We know who was first, though, the Ravens. By far, 191 per game, guys, and has been deadly on the ground as of late. And a big reason for that is J.K. Dobbins. They promoted him to starter, right? They're letting him loose. They finally let him loose as a rookie. They do use Edwards as well. So it's like a three-headed monster. Obviously, Jackson as well. He's always good for over 50 rushing yards per game. And he did another 1,000 yards on the year. Another 1,000-yard rushing season on the year, guys. Look at rushing totals over in this one. We should see a lot of running from both sides. So wait till those props come out. Look for the over if they're not too crazy. I'm guessing Henry's going to be over 100. The prop. But hey, I wouldn't be all over it. Ravens D-line is healthy. Ravens are somewhat healthy overall. They had some big losses earlier in the season in Boyle. They lost Ronley Stanley, who they just paid. They've been able to recover on the O-line pretty solid enough, right? Boyle, best tight end blocker in the league. He's the best blocker of the tight ends in the league. It's a huge loss for the run game. They've been able to adapt. A couple guys been stepping up on the O-line, Bozeman being one of them. Titans don't have any injury concerns that are at least going to be sitting out. I know A.J. Brown has been banged up with knee issues all year, but he continues to play. He will be out there. Storyline in this one, guys, is simple. The Ravens rush D and the D-line holding up against Henry. Can they limit him somewhat? Yes, he's going to get his yards, but Ravens can stop the run if they are healthy. Top 10 in rush D, they're 9th. And they've been better as of late with the D-line healthy, like I mentioned. If Henry has a huge game, the Ravens will lose this game, in my opinion. We've seen it last year. I wouldn't be shy about if you're asking me about the total here, I wouldn't be shy of going over. I don't have a play on it as of yet, but I do lean that. And I think Ravens win this game. It's coming from a Ravens fan, yes. You know me, my subscribers. You guys know I don't bet too many Ravens games. If I do, it's team total. So you may get a team total from me later in the week because I am good at reading team totals. I just don't like betting too many Ravens games. I like to just watch it and enjoy it. But if you ask me, put a gun to my head, I would say Ravens get this done. But I won't be betting it from a side standpoint. Bears at Saints, -10 Saints, total 47. Impressive performance by the Saints last week without Kamara and the running back room. Slapped the Panthers around in their home. Good way to enter the playoffs on a high. Saints offense and overall play has been solid as of late and peaking at the right time, guys. Top 5 in all defensive categories. Which will give Trubisky and the Bears a lot of trouble this weekend. Just look at the Bears' offensive stats. Low to mid-20s, if you look it up, right, in all offensive stats. You've seen it last week in a big game versus Packers. They couldn't produce enough offense. Montgomery was somewhat limited. Same thing could carry over to this game, guys. Bears probably won't be able to keep up with the Saints offense and put up enough points to pull off an upset. That's where it comes down to, right? Sure, Bears defense is their strength, but it hasn't been as great this year. 25th in takeaways, which is a big issue, and mid-pack overall on all defensive stats. I don't see the Saints having many issues in this game. Offensively, defensive line Mac can be an issue. It could be a handful, but the Bears will need more than him to stop this Saints offense. Now, I don't love this 10. I don't love the 10 spread. If you can get a 9.5, lean the 9.5. I like them on a teaser. Saints, you can get it down to a field goal. And I would look at the over here just because I think Saints will put up 30 plus. And then Bears just need to get in the high teens to, low 20s. Browns at Steelers, -6, total 47.5. COVID hits in the playoffs too, guys. Cleveland is the latest to get hit, and it is at the worst time. And of course, this happens to the Browns, right? Browns luck. Who else would it happen to? Their head coach will be missing the game. Special teams coordinator will be calling plays. That's a big deal. Now, this is more of a big deal because their head coach calls their plays. He's not just a head coach. They don't have an offensive guy. So he is going to be passing over to the special teams coordinator. That's a big deal. Also, a guard, starting pro guard will be out for this game as well in the O-line. I'm sure more will pop up. I think there was about 8 to 10 guys. Some are the coaches and reserve guys, but there may be more popping up, so wait until game time on this one. These two obviously just played last week. Of course, Cleveland were able to pull it off, but it was against a Steelers team that was banged up. Pittsburgh were resting guys and almost came back with the win, right? Like I mentioned earlier, Steelers didn't finish the season well. That's something you guys got to remember. They did not finish the season well after that blazing start. but should be at full strength here. I see them pulling off the win. Now, do I love the -6? No, it started at 4, but all this COVID issues and everything. Remember, the Cleveland stadium is shut down as well, right? So that's a big thing here. I think Steelers D will be solid enough, right? It's ranked 20. It's ranked 3rd in total yards allowed and points scored. 11th versus a rush. So you look for Cleveland to attack them on the ground here. But the issue with the Steelers is their offense. It's ranked 32nd in rushing, 25th in total yards, and 12th in points scored. So that's where the issue lies, is their offense. That's why that 6 I don't love. I don't love the 6. And the 47 I don't love. I have really no opinion on this game. I would tease down the Steelers to just win at home, sure, just because of the Browns' issues. And if you asked me to play something, I would take the Steelers to win by a touchdown. And on the total, I don't really have an opinion on the total, but I would look at the over 47 and a half. Guys, we ended the outright dog season with a loser on Denver, but it was an unbelievable segment. We just missed out on Denver last week. If you've seen what happened, it was tied. And Denver and Oakland went for 2 to win the game. I don't blame them. They had nothing to play for. It was a good call. But Denver had chances to win that game. It was definitely a right pick with plus money. It was close. Hopefully you guys jumped on the plus 2.5 on Denver because you would have cashed that. But it was the right side from Oakland and Vegas. And that's not something you can always say with that. But we had an amazing outright dog segment this year, hitting 10 dogs out of 16. We did start after week 1. Best chance this week, guys. I can't really give a specific play because I don't really love anything. But you gotta look at the Titans. Obviously, they could win that game due to the track record against the Ravens, and then it would follow by the Rams and the Colts. I do think one of these teams win. I'll leave you guys with another teaser. We hit another teaser last week. We ended the teaser segment very hot. This week, let's do Saints field goal, Bucks less than a field goal. That's going to be my plays. All right, guys, that will do it for the wild card. They call it the super wild card just because there's that extra game, right? So it's going to be entertaining. I'm excited for it. I know what I'll be doing all weekend, obviously watching football, and can't wait. Plays will be out for subscribers on Thursday night or Friday, so look out for those. You'll see me here next week continuing the playoff videos. UFC will be back next week as well, so look out for that video. All right, guys, like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.